This is the Troll Patrol, live with JustinFREAKIN.
I kind of just want it to be Halloween already. I want to do the stupid news. We'll be doing Halloween festivities. Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. I want to do Halloween specials on Twitch and Kick, so let's get the news out of the fucking way so we can do that, which is way more fun than this. I'm sorry, I'm a little giddy. Government shutdown. They tried to open the government again. Did not work. They also voted on SNAP benefits.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous.
Sorry for being late. She's watching Breaking Bad. It was like, it's a really good episode. I'm going to watch.
The journal proceedings be approved today at the morning hour be deemed expired. The time for the 2 leaders will be reserved for their use later in the day. And the Senate be in a period of morning business with senators permitted to speak therein for up to 10 minutes each. Finally, that the cloture motion with respect to the tongue nomination ripen at 5:30 p.m.
Is there an objection?
The tongue nomination.
Senator from Nevada.
Senator from Nevada.
Reserving the right to object. This is truly outrageous. After doing absolutely nothing all year to prevent a massive spike in health care costs, Senate Republicans now want to go home for yet another weekend and do nothing, just like the House Republicans have been doing for the past month, while families find out how much their health care costs are going up for the next year. Senate Republicans are just acting as if it's business as usual. Well, I'm here to tell you why it's not business as usual. This Saturday, the day after tomorrow, is November 1st, the beginning of open enrollment for families who buy their health care through the Affordable Care Act marketplace. Many hardworking families rely on the ACA's enhanced premium tax credits just to be able to afford their health care policy. But unfortunately, they will expire this year and must be extended to keep health care costs.
Senator Rosen just ripped one.
It's not a handout, not welfare. It's tax cuts that help.
Be sure to wash your ass.
For families in all of our states, And without these, health care costs are going to go up for everyone, and many will be priced out of care. I implore my colleagues on the other side of the aisle to see reason, to understand that this is not a partisan issue. Americans, well, all of us, are one medical diagnosis away from catastrophe. Strokes, cancer,
most of us.
attacks, don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. It's why we need to make sure all of our constituents are able to afford a health care policy. It's not unreasonable. But if an appeal to
health care,
maybe your political instincts will. 6 of the 10 states that have the most amount of people receiving the enhanced premium tax credits are states with 2 Republican senators, including Florida, which is at the list, Texas, North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Ohio. So this isn't just good policy.
I've heard this one. Johnny Cash did it better.
Isn't that why we were all elected? Not to go have gold-plated dinners at the White House to celebrate not taking action on Americans' health care, protecting Americans' health care. We were elected to help families, to stand up for them and make sure that they could thrive and reach the American dream. And it's about damn time we remembered all of that. So no, we should not act like
get away from me
as usual. We should work to find a path forward.
I'm going to try to hold him up. He's feisty.
And if that means we need to be here all weekend, so be it. And if you disagree, I want you to be on the record saying you want to go home for the weekend right as families are confronted with higher health care costs. And so everybody here knows me. I'm usually pretty mild-mannered. I'm
ready to go home for the weekend. I already stated that.
I remain willing to work with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to prevent health care costs from going up in the future. But I'm fed up. The dysfunction in this place is going to have real consequences.
She's mad as hell and she's not going to take it anymore.
And I'm done. I'm just done. We need to figure this out, work in a bipartisan way, not next week, but right now. So therefore, while I do not object to the Senator's motion on housekeeping matters for the Senate, I will not provide my consent to adjourning the Senate today without a vote so that members of this chamber can make clear whether or not they are willing to give up one weekend to roll up their sleeves and work together to prevent a massive spike in health care costs. Thank you.
Further business to come before the Senate, I move to it.
Without objection, so ordered.
President.
Anonymously, welcome in. Holiday, Shelley, War Machine, you're over on YouTube.
Questions
What's
on
up
the
with
motion to
that?
adjourn? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are heading into holiday season, and they're wanting to severely restrict airline travel, I believe. Red Wine Terrorist, welcome in.
Meanwhile, at airports across the country, air traffic controllers are still required to show up for work, even though they are not receiving paychecks. This is putting additional strain on a system that was already dealing with staffing shortages before the shutdown.
Yeah, for much more on that, let's bring in investigative reporter Dan Krauth.
This is supposed to be the time of the year when they take a deep breath. They just survived the busy summer travel season and just ahead of the busy holiday season. But that's not the case, as this week they missed their first full paycheck and they're now concerned about more than just work.
You're seeing impacts of this shutdown on our airspace, and that means travelers are delayed, travelers are canceled. It has real problems.
After an airline meeting at the White House this afternoon, their transportation secretary says the shutdown's already creating problems for air travel.
So controllers like to be in control. They like to plan. They do not thrive in uncertainty.
No one knows the skies above the tri-state better than Michael McCormick. He's the former vice president of the FAA, and he used to manage all of New York City's airspace.
The New York metropolitan area is the busiest, most complex air traffic
Is he a Star Wars nerd?
in the world.
He says air traffic controllers already face a significant amount of work stress. On top of that, they're normally short-staffed, and many are working overtime to fill the gaps. Now they're facing personal stress, worried about their finances.
You want to have a controller that is working, that is completely focused on what is going on in the air traffic control environment, and not have that cloud hanging over the head about how am I going to afford to pay my son's tuition for this semester.
The Department of Transportation says staffing issues have been responsible for 5% of flight delays so far this year. This past Sunday, that number jumped up to 44%. The numbers could grow worse as the budget standoff continues.
That makes the system less safe. And then the only way to make it safe is to reduce the number of aircraft in it.
Plus, the shutdown's affecting their ability to recruit new controllers for the 3,000 open positions.
Well, I bet.
In the tri-state area.
Part of it is the challenge of certifying to become a control in that area, and part of it is the higher cost of living. Controllers can go somewhere else in the country, make the same amount of money.
Controllers cannot hop from airport to fill the gaps. They're trained to work at a specific location. As the shutdown continues, the one thing they say they will not compromise is safety. Instead, they'll reduce the number of flights taking off and landing at airports with staffing issues.
They're continuing to be short-staffed, they're continuing to work long hours, and then they have that additional stressor on top of it where they don't know when, how often, or how much they're going to get paid.
After today's meeting at the White House, there was a lot of finger pointing as to who was responsible for the shutdown, Republicans or Democrats. But at the end of the day, it's the everyday workers who are being impacted. When it comes to these controllers, it's especially the new ones who don't make high salaries, and their rent is due this weekend.
Yeah,
Terrible situation.
It really is.
Yes.
Hopefully going to end at some point very soon.
Hopefully, we will be reporting that event soon.
All right, Dan,
great.
thank you.
It doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. I just showed you what happened on the Senate floor today. They recessed for the weekend. SNAP benefits run out in 2 days.
More people could feel the burden of the shutdown if it carries on past this weekend.
Some 42 million Americans are set to lose food assistance benefits through SNAP, and our political reporter Josh Haskell is live now here in studio breaking it down for us. Josh.
Yeah, David and Giovanna, it's a scary time for so many families who could lose food assistance funding, and this is all happening at a time when the number of those in need continues to grow.
Inglewood resident Felicia Ortiz relies on food assistance from the federal government to feed her family. Her son has type 1 diabetes.
Having that little bit of assistance to help me buy the healthier food for him and making sure that he's eating right. It has just been such a burden off my shoulders.
But this Saturday, November 1st, SNAP benefits will no longer be funded because of the government shutdown. Democrats are blaming Republicans, and Republicans are blaming Democrats. Ortiz fears the difficult choices ahead that she'll have to make.
Now I'm going to have to worry about where our next meal is going to come from, and taking that little bit from
Silent Holiday, welcome
my
in.
bills.
Tuesday night, while traveling to South Korea, President Trump said his administration would find a solution to fund SNAP. But that solution is unclear. 1.5 million people in LA.
Oh, you were here earlier. I said hey to you.
California is called CalFresh.
Hey there, big boy.
The program allows people to access food from food banks and grocery stores. Thanks to CalFresh, $300 million are spent at grocery stores in LA County every month.
2/3 are seniors and children. Many are, dealing with disabilities, living on SSI. So these are some of the most vulnerable people in our community. This has never happened before in the 60-year history of this program that benefits have not gone out.
The LA Regional Food Bank says they have a 2.5-week food supply right now. LA County and the state of California have put
food banks can't pick up the slack.
But if the shutdown continues, there will be pain.
This is a difficult time for a lot of people, and especially at this time of the year. And add to that the cost of inflation. And, frankly, there are a lot of people who do not receive CalFresh benefits, but we will all be impacted.
And there's a Democratic-sponsored bill in the Senate that would direct the USDA to release available contingency funds to ensure SNAP continues during the shutdown. That bill is not expected to pass the Senate. David and Giovanna?
Yeah, so many people in a lot of pain over this shutdown.
So Mike Johnson, because we already did the vote in the Senate, it failed. They have recessed for the weekend. Mike Johnson says there is no contingency fund to fund SNAP benefits, but that's a lie.
Take a few questions. Yes, sir. Secretary.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. During the last shutdown in 2019, it was the first Trump administration, and they made sure that in the second month of the shutdown, SNAP benefits would go out. They had them sent early. Why do you think they shouldn't do that this time?
Well, the president, this administration has done exactly what he did in the first term, and that is bend over backwards to make sure that we mitigate the harm. We explained here yesterday that any administration in a shutdown scenario has figuratively a control panel of pain dials. In the Obama administration, 2013, when they shut it down, they turned all the dials to 10. They wanted it to hurt, and so remember, famously, they put the yellow crime tape around the World War II memorial and prevented
yeah, you said that already.
And visiting these landmarks. They made it hurt. President Trump has done exactly the opposite. I mean, he's done everything he can. He's ordered all of his cabinet secretaries to mitigate the harm. So, for example, as you know, with WIC funding, they found a way to fund that with tariff revenue. We found a way to pay the troops once already in October, hopefully at the end of this month by moving money around. But it's very difficult to do. Those are not inexhaustible funds. When it comes to SNAP, some of the Democrats have argued that you can use this contingency fund, but the truth is there's no legal mechanism to do it. Unlike with WIC funding that was attached to a 1930s era statute that was related to tariff funds because it was related to nutrition and food coming over the border, there's no such legal avenue to give SNAP funding now. It doesn't exist. The problem is the contingency and the authority to do that was voted down in the CR when the Democrats themselves did it. So the president has lamented this. He has informed USDA and everybody, do as best you can, but the money doesn't exist to do it. The simplest way to end the pain and the simplest way to make this stop is for the Democrats to do the obvious and right thing and vote for the nonpartisan funding measure so that we can turn everything back on. Then we will get back here, and then we will debate all these other extraneous issues. But right now, the first job of the government is to keep it in operation and take care of the people who depend upon all these services we've articulated today. It's nonsense, and it has to end, and you should be asking them the tough questions, why they're willing to inflict this pain on the people for their partisan political purposes. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, what a piece of shit. So let's get the fact check on that. Working gal. Princess Kimberly, Flo, welcome in. Did it for the story. Welcome in, my friend. Are there contingency funds available to pay SNAP benefits? Connecticut Democratic Representative Rosa Louise DeLuro said on October 28th, I am the ranking member on the Appropriations Committee, and I promise you there is funding available to provide SNAP benefits beyond November 1st. There is at the very least over $5 billion in contingency funds that Congress set aside. The USDA holds contingency funds to be used to fund operations when regularly appropriated funds are unavailable. The exact value of this fund is not clear, but the lawsuit puts it around $6 billion. Newsweek contacted the USDA for clarification on Wednesday. According to the lawsuit filed by the state leaders, USDA suspended SNAP benefits, even though, on information and belief, it has funds available to it that are sufficient to fund all or at least a substantial portion of November's SNAP benefits. Preliminary data from the USDA shows the value of SNAP benefits sent out to recipients in May of 2025 was $7,859,000, the latest month for which data is available. This exceeds the estimated amount of the reportedly available contingency funds. The lawsuit also points out that the USDA has continued some services during the shutdown by shifting existing funds. For example, it redirected money to deliver aid to farmers and reopen about 2,100 Farm Service Agency offices. It also used Section 32 funds to temporarily support the Special Supplemental Nutritional Program for Women, Infants, and Children, known as WIC. Here is Smokey. Maybe dumb is not the right word. He's pretty derpy. He's a derpy cat. He's a derpy cat. My lord, Quesadilla, welcome in. Leftist, good to see you, my friend. I'm trying to speed run the news so we can get to Halloween specials, because that's way more fucking fun. The news is bleak. They mentioned the lawsuit in the Newsweek article. California, one of the states, suing the federal government.
At 5, it is crunch time for folks who rely on food stamps. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, will run out of money Saturday amid the ongoing government shutdown. Fox 11's Nick Garcia is live in the Sun Valley area with how food pantries are bracing for an influx of people trying to picture that happening already. Nick, thank you.
She's got really pretty hair.
That's right, Christine. Well, this is a food pantry here. It's also an EBT market offering really reduced prices on food here.
Portland, that's a really good question.
Banks across the LA area, though, bracing for that influx of people, or what could be an influx of people next week. A steady stream of people at Christie's Foundation's weekly...
While he's building a ballroom.
The Northridge Fashion Center. If this wasn't here, what would you be doing for food?
Oh, well, you know, right now it's very hard for everybody, everybody.
It's different right now. There's always an urgent need to feed people, but
urgent need right now because of what's happening with the government shutdown, and people are afraid they're going to lose their EBT benefits, and they're scared.
People like Carolina, who is one of the 1.5 million people in LA County alone who rely on SNAP to make ends meet. She's visiting Christie's Foundation for the first time.
I'm short of food right now, so I said I'll better go and get something for, I have a disabled son, and I said I better go and get some for her.
Thursday, California Attorney General Rob Bonta was in LA to discuss the lawsuit he and 22 other attorneys general filed against the Trump administration over SNAP.
The law is clear that the federal government has a legal obligation to provide SNAP payments to those who meet program eligibility requirements.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are outraged by the impacts the shutdown is having on SNAP.
This, to me,
I went on a fantastic rant about people
it's yet another
judging SNAP recipients last night. I thought it was last night. I couldn't find it, though. Oh, it wasn't last night. I was off last night.
Americans and Californians suffering as a result.
GOP Congressman Kevin Kiley has signed on as a co-sponsor of a bill that would fund SNAP through the shutdown. But since the House is not in session, that legislation...
I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Meantime, food pantries like Christie's Foundation are asking for donations and volunteers to help keep up with the demand.
It makes me sad that people are afraid that they're not going to be able to feed their families, have a meal for their family to eat.
Now, the USDA does have a contingency fund.
That is something Republicans... I am very high right now. We smoked like 3 or 4 or 5 bowls right in a row. Right in a row. That is another thing that like the Republicans didn't think about is all the cost to grocery stores that could contribute to inflation, because the stores are going to try to make up the profits. They've got the same overhead, so they're going to try to jack up the cost on everybody else because they're not selling selling stuff to food stamp recipients.
$5.5 billion that could partially fund SNAP through most of November. The White House says it cannot legally dip into that money.
I'm very high. That's why I wanted to just watch Halloween specials.
This week indicated this afternoon she may order the administration to use that contingency. Live in Sun Valley, I'm Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
And here's my cure for that stigma. Everybody should get that. My eyes are really red. Everybody should get SNAP benefits. Like, we should just all get a food stamp card and everybody gets $400 a month. Because I want to say it's like 192 or something like that right now. I don't know if it's gone up since the last time I checked. I don't even see it. Fucking fuck. Look it up some other time. We got money for nuclear testing, though. They're going to restart nuclear testing. The fuck are they talking about?
There weren't many details in the president's announcement about restarting nuclear weapons testing. Will they be above or below ground? Will they still be 140 miles in that direction over at the Nevada site? One thing is for sure, it stirred up emotions among those here and those downwinders.
Yeah, what my family went through was enough.
Downwinders.
It is enough. I don't want to watch. I don't want to hold one more child while they die. I don't want to watch one more friend die.
Clyde Peterson was among the downwinders in St. George who were exposed with few precautions to radioactive fallout from above-ground nuclear tests at the Nevada test site, which is now known as the Nevada National Security Site. Bobby and others sickened from radiation recently celebrated the return of the government's Radiation Exposure Compensation Act after it lapsed for a year. She frequently speaks about being a downwinder, including the Congress.
I was surprised when I was back in Washington, D.C. about the young congressmen and senators that didn't know what happened and weren't educated about the Nevada test site. And to think that we haven't learned anything from our past mistakes to start over again is just ludicrous.
The president and government officials say a return of nuclear testing is necessary to keep the nation's nuclear arsenal ready to deter potential adversaries. The Project 2025 report from the Conservative Heritage Foundation think tank advocates for using the Nevada test site. The last test there was in 1992. Like all tests after a 1963 treaty, it was done underground. Officials say underground testing doesn't release radiation to the atmosphere.
This really is the start of a zombie movie.
At least 10 of the above-ground tests before sent fallout directly on southern Utah. Retired broadcaster and former University of Utah professor Fred Esplin grew up in Cedar City. Along with family, he says more than 25 students from his senior class have died from cancer. He says he's dealing with his own cancer that he says is treatable.
I question the necessity of resuming the tests. If they do proceed, heaven help us.
If there are any increases...
What, are we going to drop a nuclear bomb on Venezuela?
This detector just outside Desert Hills High School is how we're going to find out. Claudia says she's not reassured that the new tests will be safe.
They told us that before. They lied to us before. They told us we were safe, and they'll lie to us again.
From St. George, Chris Reed, Fox 13 News, Utah.
I like that woman. She's a hottie. She can be my GOP mommy. I'm horrible. I'm sorry. Cancel Justin. ICE agents fired shots during a traffic stop. In Ontario, California.
Breaking news at 5. A chaotic scene unfolded in Ontario. Federal agents surround a car and shoot a driver. They say he was trying to ram them. It's the second shooting involving ICE in Southern California in just over a week. Welcome to the Fox 11 News at 5, simulcast on our sister station, Fox 11 Plus. I'm Christine Devine. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez is live in Ontario with more on this breaking news. Christina.
Yeah, the original stop, it was a vehicle stop, was right here on Vineyard, on this street. Federal officers had stopped somebody. Somebody else stopped their vehicle. They end up getting shot, and they drove right around the corner into this mobile home park. Let's show you what happened. Federal agents confirmed they were in the middle of stopping this dark-colored Honda on Vineyard Avenue as their SUVs surrounded the car. The man driving this lighter-colored Lexus stopped and tried to intervene.
He saw someone being basically surrounded by armed men with a mask, and so he decided that he was going to try to see what was going on.
Javier Hernandez is speaking for the family of the man in the Lexus, who, according to a statement from Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin, quote, attempted to run officers over by reversing directly at them without stopping. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, fired defensive shots at the vehicle.
What we know is that he was shot in the shoulder. He then drove himself to his brother's house.
Just around the corner to the Country Meadows mobile home park, where you can see investigators surrounding the vehicle, even make out a shattered window. Now, the family says a 24-year-old was shot in the shoulder, so they immediately drove him to a nearby hospital with federal agents right behind them.
We do know that he was released from the hospital, but the family doesn't know where he's at. They believe that he's obviously in custody of federal government.
This comes just over a week after TikTok influencer Carlitos Ricardo Parias was shot in the elbow after investigators say he tried
Not
to
the
ram his
TikToker.
car into federal agents in South LA.
And they have lied every time they've said that shit.
Now, the man who was originally stopped today was not injured in the shooting. He was detained, as you see here. No word on why he was originally stopped.
There is no information. This is, where we need DHS to put more information out, not just for the family, but for the community here that is really scared about.
And now the other concern that we heard from many of the people in the mobile home park is the large amount of Ontario police officers who were here. Now the department's saying that they responded after the shooting. They had nothing to do with the initial incident. They were just here in a support role. But the people, especially those inside the RV park, saying that they thought that their presence there seemed to be excessive. We'll have to see what happens. I'm Christina Gonzalez, live in Ontario. Back to the studio.
Continuing matter in our city. All right, Christina, thank you.
Second shooting in a week. This was in Oxnard, California. ICE broke into a home to supposedly execute a search warrant. Broke into a home.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Scott Hennessy.
And I'm Beth Farnsworth. Federal agents swept into Oxnard today, executing a search warrant for a man
Are they
accused of
AI?
injuring officers at an immigration raid back in July.
The arrest drew a large crowd of protesters this morning. News Channel reporter Mina Wahab is live in Oxnard. Mina, what can you tell us?
Now, there's a building on this street behind me that functions as both a residence and a business. There's two families that live in that building, and we're told that earlier this morning, ICE agents, or federal agents actually, stormed into the back of the building and arrested 4 men. Now, it's unclear if those men are still in custody, but those federal agents were looking for Virginia Reyes and Isai Carrillo. And it all started before 6 a.m. on North A Street near Deodore Avenue. So community members tipped off immigration rights groups, including VC Defensa and 805 UndocuFund. Dozens of volunteers and community members then came to the scene, demanding to know if there was a warrant to carry out the arrest. That's when they say tensions escalated between federal agents and protesters as several family members were detained. The owner of the residence says the tenant called him, telling him their home was surrounded by Homeland Security. He said he got the call and was there within 10 minutes.
They barged into my office, they broke the back gate.
Who am I to talk about somebody's accent?
And raided the entire house, and they flipped it. They flipped the entire house. It's traumatic. I mean, I can only imagine. I was on the set, and I was, really upset, and, shed some tears for my boy that was sitting on the curb because he's 16 years old. He should be at school, but he's on the curb,
Isai Carrillo was arrested this morning. The Justice Department says Virginia Reyes is a fugitive. They're accused of injuring or impeding officers at the Glass House Farms raid in Camarillo back in July. But this morning, agents used tear gas against protesters. Federal agents also threatened to arrest protesters at the scene. Oxnard police say they were warned about Homeland Security's presence ahead of time. They're not aware of any arrests of protesters.
Oxnard sounds kind of
we'll
dirty.
Have more on this story at 5 and 6 p.m.
Suck 'em
tonight, and we'll
Oxnards.
hear from one of the VC Defensa volunteers who has more on how this situation escalated. For now, live in Oxnard, I'm News Channel reporter Mina Wahab, sending it back to you in studio.
Rio and Virginia Reyes are accused of conspiracy to impede or injure a federal officer. The Department of Justice says they are members of VC Defense, an immigrant advocacy group that monitors ICE activity. A criminal complaint says Carrillo and Reyes were at the Glass House Farms raid in Camarillo in July. Reyes is accused of constructing a roadblock and using her vehicle to impede government vehicles. Carrillo is accused of throwing rocks at cars and injuring a federal contract employee. News Channel reporter Tracy Lair will have more on the allegations against them in a live report tonight at 5 and 6 on your News Channel.
They're going after everybody, including, hide your kids, hide your wife, including a progressive congressional candidate. She has been indicted for her protest in Chicago last month. I always fuck her name up. It's Kate Abu Ghazi.
House candidates speaking out after being indicted for allegedly conspiring to injure officers at anti-ICE protests. Kat Abu-Ghazaleh and 5 others facing felony charges in connection to a clash with law enforcement that's gone viral on social media. Now, Abu-Ghazaleh says in a video on Twitter, quote, "This political prosecution is an attack on all of our First Amendment rights."
This case is a major push by the Trump administration to criminalize protest and punish anyone who speaks out against them. That's why I'm going to fight these unjust charges, but I need your help to do it.
Let's bring in ABC News Justice Department reporter Alex.
I'm trying
on this. Hi, Alex. So what's the latest on this case?
Yeah, so we had this indictment unsealed yesterday in the Northern District of Illinois that charges Abu Ghazaleh and 5 other individuals,
Abu Ghazaleh,
with essentially conspiring to assault an ICE agent outside that facility in Broadview, Illinois.
Ooh, I think I got close.
Abu Ghazaleh has been posting these videos that have been
Abu Ghazaleh
on social media. She's been using this obviously to kind of bring attention towards her campaign for the U.S. House seat.
Yeah, good for her.
You know, it's been centered around the idea that ICE is mistreating immigrants at that facility. And so, you know, she's posted videos where she's been shot by rubber bullets, where she was thrown to the ground by an officer. But now we're seeing this move by federal prosecutors to turn the tables and essentially charge
Abu Ghazaleh,
what they say is impeding an ICE officer. And the alleged incident at the core of this indictment involves Abu Ghazaleh and 5 other individuals surrounding an ICE officer's vehicle, allegedly banging on it. And in the words of federal prosecutors in this indictment that was signed off on by a federal grand jury, that they were impeding his ability to drive through to a staging area at that facility.
So also called her Kate.
Serious, felony charges, but as we heard, Abu Ghazaleh and the other defendants who are set to appear in court next week do plan to fight these. She will make this obviously about political persecution and about the Trump administration more broadly trying to crack down on Democratic activists around the country who are protesting these ICE officers and the actions that they've taken to crack down on immigration.
And Alex, Abu Ghazaleh is due back in court on November 5th. What can we expect there?
It's set for just an arraignment. She and the other 5 individuals will be appearing in federal court in Chicago. We expect, obviously, they will plead not guilty to the charges that they face. They could give, some kind of a preview of how they plan to defend themselves against these charges. But as we've heard from Abu Ghazaleh, she says that she will make, political persecution very much a centerpiece of her defense in this case, and trying to convince a jury that these charges would not be brought without, political considerations by this administration to target her and target dissent more broadly across the country.
Justice Department reporter Alex Mallon, thank you.
Also in Chicago today, we did the story last night of Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, who was in federal court. And appeals court overruled that court, saying they overstepped their bounds. He was back in court today.
This is Chicago's very own WGN Midday News.
Hello again, everyone. On this Thursday morning, I'm Patrick Elwood.
And I'm Dina Bair. Thank you for joining us.
I did a horrible job explaining that. I'm sorry.
Immigration front. At this hour, Border Chief Greg Bovino is in a federal courtroom answering questions about federal agents' use of force on protesters and journalists. WGN's Eric Rung is live at the federal courthouse with an update. Eric?
Well, good morning. The deposition got underway around 10 o'clock this morning. It is being done behind closed doors, so we won't know exactly what is said. However, we know some of the questions that will be asked. This morning, there were no protesters to meet Border Chief Greg Bovino at the federal courthouse. We believe he used an entrance we aren't allowed to cover with cameras, unlike Tuesday when he arrived for a public hearing with an armed entourage and waded through protesters. He's here today to sit for a deposition in regards to the use of non-lethal weapons used on demonstrators and journalists at the ICE facility in Broadview and impromptu protests where federal agents are conducting operations in different neighborhoods.
Tear gassing Old Irving Park.
Bovino was summoned Tuesday for what amounted to a lecture from federal Judge Sarah Ellis for potentially violating her order, barring federal agents from using tear gas, pepper balls, and rubber bullets on protesters without first issuing a warning. She told Bovino, quote, "They must tell people what they are going to do before they do it so people have the opportunity to comply. That's what I meant, and that's not what I have seen in any of these videos." She also ordered him to report daily about ICE operations in and around Chicago, a ruling that was put on hold by an appeals court. The DOJ argued every occasion Chief Bovino is required to prepare and appear for those daily court sessions is time he would otherwise spend carrying out the important law enforcement functions he's been assigned. Bovino himself on Fox News said he was looking forward to the check-ins.
If she wants to meet with me every day, then she's going to see, she's going to have a very good firsthand look at just how bad things really are on the streets of Chicago.
Now, the deposition is being done under oath and it is being recorded. It is expected to go about 5 hours. We are live at the federal courthouse. I'm Eric Rung, WGN News.
All right, let's move on to some crime stories here because we got some crazy ones, including a judge in Arizona that was caught for public urination. Oh my God. Let's start with the teacher who was shot by a 6-year-old in her classroom. We covered this like 2 or 3 years ago when it happened. She is suing the school. This was earlier today.
So, Abby, now tell the jury, what did you see right before you were shot that day on January 6, 2023?
The moment went by very fast. I remember Dr. Watson touched on it briefly earlier. The look on the student's face is a large memory that I have. I do remember it was like a very blank look, but it wasn't a blank look at all on his face.
And is that why you lifted your hand? Did you know what was about to happen?
Yes.
Yeah, the kid shot her through the hand, and then it hit her in the shoulder.
And what is the last thing you remember that day at the school?
The last thing I remember at the school. Obvious, I thought I was dying. I thought I had died. I thought I was either on my way to heaven or in heaven, but then it all got black, and so I then thought I wasn't going there. And then my next memory is I see 2 coworkers around me, and I process that I'm hurt, and they're putting pressure on where I'm hurt.
A first grade teacher who was shot in her classroom by a 6-year-old student is on the stand right now in Newport News. The teacher, Abby Werner, brought a $40 million lawsuit against the school's assistant principal, who she says failed to act after reports the student brought a gun to school in 2023. Let's go live now to CNN's Jean Casares, who has been tracking the testimony. Jean.
Well, they're on cross-examination right now, but on direct examination, when she took the stand, it was very difficult for the plaintiff's attorney to actually get her to verbalize what had happened to her. It was like her mind was reliving it. But she did talk about that on that day, that the teacher that was next door to her at the school, also with the first grade class, came to her and said that 2 of her students had seen that one of her students...
Apparently, they're not going to show the video.
In his backpack.
So I am.
So...
Crazy video of the moments after she was shot.
Savannah, good morning. The security camera and body cam footage are giving us the first look from inside the school that day. The urgent arrival of law enforcement, as well as EMTs, who start treating Abigail Werner at the school before rushing her to the hospital. A warning, some of what you're about to see and hear may be disturbing.
For the first time, security footage and body cam video revealing the frightening moments that unfolded at Rich Neck Elementary back in 2023. That's when a 6-year-old boy fired a single shot from a 9mm handgun at his first-grade teacher, Abigail Werner. A school staff member can be heard telling police what she saw.
As soon as he shot it, I was walking down the hall and I heard, and I went right in. Abby was in, the teacher was bloody.
The video is released publicly as part of Zwerner's civil trial in Virginia. She is accusing the school's former assistant principal, Ebony Parker, seen at her desk in these images, of ignoring multiple warnings a student had a gun. Additional footage shows first responders treating Zwerner's injuries in the school's front office before racing her to the hospital. In the ambulance, Zwerner asking EMTs to distract her. On Wednesday, a surgeon describing Zwerner's injury.
This is much more similar to a war injury than it is what I normally see.
The bullet, which is still lodged inside Zwerner, sliced through her hand and into her chest, just missing her heart.
For something like this, it is actually way more dangerous to remove the bullet than it is to leave it in place.
Back in 2020,
it's still in her.
The wounds were a traumatizing reminder.
It's been helpful now that they've scarred over, but it's still a reminder that, hey, this happened to you. This is what your body's been through.
Also taking the stand, Zwerner's sister, Hannah, sharing how Abigail's behavior has changed since the shooting.
It's very hard to get her to go out and do things, and if she does, someone has to be with her. She's really afraid of being alone.
Defense attorneys attempting to discredit that
testimony. Trauma will do that.
In fact, the pair attended a Taylor Swift concert together months after the shooting.
And your sister was able to go do that. Yes, but it was not without its challenges.
The defense also arguing that in this case, hindsight is 20/20, and that assistant principal Ebony Parker was following protocol, including not searching the child until his mother arrived. The trial, which resumes today, is expected to last a couple of weeks, guys.
All right, Stephanie, thank you for the update.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Thank you, Al.
On NBC.
Thank you for your
today when
your chipperness after such a story. A uniquely American story. Yesterday we got the verdict in the Sonia Massey killing. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday? I don't fucking know anymore. Yeah, it was yesterday. Because I was on stream. We watched the police chase before I went to the movies. Yeah. The cop that killed Sonia Massey has now been convicted of second-degree murder.
First, we begin with that breaking news. Former Sheriff Deputy Sean Grayson has been found guilty of second-degree murder in the death of Sonia Massey. Back in 2024, Grayson shot and killed Massey while responding to her 911 call about a prowler. Now, Grayson says he shot Massey in self-defense, fearing she would throw a pot of boiling water at him. But prosecutors say Grayson could have left Massey's home rather than shooting and killing her. We want to show you body cam footage of that interaction, which may be disturbing to some viewers.
Where you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
I swear to God, you trade your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot!
All right, we want to go live to Jerika Duncan outside of the
Yeah, they murdered her.
Peoria, Illinois. Jerika, you were there when the verdict was read. What was the reaction in the courtroom?
It was emotional inside that courtroom. You could see tears from both the Massey family as well as Grayson's family when that verdict was read, guilty on the second-degree murder charge. Now, of course, Grayson was facing a first-degree murder charge, which could have had him in prison for the rest of his life. With this second-degree murder charge, he's facing, we're told, anywhere from 4 to 20 years behind bars. But there are things that still obviously need to be worked out at sentencing, which as of right now is January 29th of next year in Sangamon County, not here in Peoria County. But I can tell you that as I looked at Grayson's face, he was pretty stoic. He was looking straight at the judge. After the bailiffs came and they handcuffed him, he was looking for his family, or what appeared to be him looking for his family. His family had already left the courtroom, but there was clearly a moment where the judge thanks the jury, understanding that the video that they looked at twice in this trial was very graphic, very disturbing. He thanked them for their service, and everyone sort of went out on their way. But the process in of itself took about 5 minutes. The jurors came in, they announced the verdict, and that was it.
It's my understanding they deliberated for a total of 6 hours and then came up with this verdict. Have you heard from Sonia Massey's family?
They were hoping for the first-degree murder.
When I spoke to them before,
They're very disappointed.
the best they were hoping for, at least one of the family members said, was that first-degree murder conviction. They understood that second-degree murder was on the table, but of course they did not want Grayson to be acquitted on all charges. So they said they had mixed feelings going in. I have not gotten a chance to speak to them just yet. We ran right outside of this courthouse to set up to obviously bring you this breaking news. But I can tell you, having met with this family almost a year ago, that it's been very challenging for them. It's something that they can't shake. You know, they will always sort of be attached to this graphic video that has been seen around the world. I was listening to Sonia Massey's, I think she's 16. I know she said she's in the 10th grade, 15 or 16-year-old daughter, just speak about how much she missed her mom and how her life has changed drastically as a result because she's the girl who, oh, your mom was killed by that police officer. So I think the family, I can't imagine what they've been through. And then when I think about Sean Grayson's family, I was actually sitting behind them yesterday for closing arguments, and it was clear that they've been torn apart by this too. When the defense was talking about Sean Grayson was justified in what he did and he followed policy by the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office, you could see family members of his looking at the jurors kind of in that direction and shaking their head, almost to say, yes, you see, like he did what he was supposed to do. He didn't do anything wrong. When the defense attorney mentioned that it was Sonia Massey who sort of escalated the situation, were the words that the defense attorney used. You could
But she didn't.
Grayson's family shaking their head like, yes, if there wasn't a pot involved, and I guess in their opinion, their family member, Sean Grayson, did not feel threatened, none of this would have happened. But of course, the prosecution sees this completely different.
He brought a gun to a pot fight.
In the words of the prosecutor, was a bully, they said, who didn't like not being in control and did not respond the way that he should have in a case like that. So you have families that have obviously been torn apart by this tragedy, but there will be a sentencing, which is the next step in this. We don't know yet.
It's in January.
He plans to appeal.
Hopefully he gets the maximum 20 years. We're going to go to Chicago, where a standoff was happening just a few hours ago. A cop got shot, but I don't think he is critically injured.
At 6 o'clock, we are following breaking news. A standoff in the western suburbs has ended. Video from Skycam 9 earlier today shows the officers with guns drawn after they were shot at from inside a house in Addison. The standoff lasted several hours. It impacted neighbors and several schools.
WGN's Dana Rebick is joining us live from Addison with the latest. Dana.
Well, we now moved over to this neighborhood where this all happened. At this home behind me, it's the blue house that is behind that yellow police crime tape down the street. That suspect is now in police custody. We're told this all started around 11 a.m. today when that man called 911, telling police that he needed them to come help him find his dogs. He hung up the phone, and as officers were arriving, more 911 calls started coming in from neighbors saying that this man was displaying erratic behavior.
Officers arrived on scene at approximately 11:01 a.m. and contact was made with the subject, who was displaying erratic and belligerent behavior. Information was also relayed to other responding officers, saying the subject was blocking the street off with a vehicle and spraying an unknown substance around the street. Information was also reported the individual was lighting items on fire in the middle of the street, and as officers approached the subject,
Well, who hasn't?
the individual attacked officers with an unknown liquid and gas.
Here is a view from Skycam 9. Earlier today, this home is in the 200 block of East LaPorte Drive. Police say they tried to take the man into custody when they got here, but that he broke free and ran inside, then opening fire at officers through his windows. We could see a group of officers kneeling behind vehicles staged across the street with their guns drawn. Officers from the Northern Illinois SWAT team also responded here to assist. You could see shattered glass on the front stoop of this man's home and a bullet hole through the pane of window glass on that front door. There are also multiple bullet holes throughout other windows in the front of this house. We could also see officers positioned in a neighbor's yard and one with a helmet and rifle on top of a garage across the street. Addison School District 4 did put all 9 of its schools on what they call secure status during all of this, keeping all students and staff indoors as this standoff continued into the afternoon.
Officers arrived on scene at approximately 11:01 a.m. and contact was made with the subject who was displaying erratic and belligerent behavior.
Well, who hasn't done that?
Relayed to other responding officers, saying the subject was blocking the street off with a vehicle and spraying.
Erratic and belligerent behavior is just my normal
Information
status.
was also reported the individual was lighting items on fire in the middle of the street, and as officers approached the subject, the individual
Is right as an American.
Police officers on scene encountered random attacks of gunfire from the subject who was shooting out of the residence.
Also, this is
For the
America.
next 4 hours. Multiple attempts were made to get the subject to exit the house on his own free will and surrender to police.
We are told one officer was shot and that bullet hit him in his vest. That officer and several others were taken to the hospital with minor injuries, but we are told at this time all of them have been released. This situation was resolved around 3:15 today. They say this man did voluntarily surrender in his front yard and again taken into custody.
He voluntarily surrendered after a gunfight with cops.
Pending charges, we do not know his identity yet, but that is information we are told that will likely come tomorrow from the DuPage County State's Attorney's Office. Also, we a moment ago had a chance to speak with a neighbor. She has cell phone video that she took of all of this gunfire, so we will bring you her interview and that new video coming up tonight at 9. Live in Addison, Dana Rebick, WGN News.
We will definitely have to get the update on that story on Sunday night. Jonathan, welcome in, my friend. Yeah, not allowed to randomly fire from your home? I thought this was America. Grail, welcome in. In Baltimore, a guy says a cop ran him over.
That video now has over 200,000 views on social media showing a Baltimore police officer chasing down a man in his police cruiser. I also spoke with the man who was chased by that officer over the phone. He tells me he learned after this incident today that this was all due to a warrant for him failing to appear in court for driving without a license.
Fucking really?
A Baltimore police officer caught on camera trying to run a man down.
Like automatic, full speed, trying to hit him and all that. So my man started running. He running for his life now. He ain't gonna stop. He trying to hit him with a car.
Slick Brown is the man behind the camera capturing these chilling moments of a Baltimore police officer chasing a man in his police cruiser in Baltimore's Park Heights neighborhood. Slick says the officer asked him and his friends to move while they were hanging out on Wiley Avenue around 5 o'clock Tuesday evening.
It's getting a little hot. I need you guys to take a lap.
So first he pulled up for real. He told us walk off. So we was walking off. Then he pulled back up with my man. He told him come in. He told him come in for no reason. So then my man said no. So he kept walking for real. So he walked through the alley. As soon as he walked through the alley, he hopped back in the car. He started chasing him.
The chase goes on for over a minute, even showing the officer crashing through a fence into a nearby yard off of Park Heights Avenue. Police Commissioner Richard Worley calling the video disturbing and alarming, saying in part, "This is not how we expect our officers to behave, and this incident does not reflect the values or standards of the Baltimore Police Department." Mayor Brandon Scott also weighing in with, quote, "The contents of the video are deeply concerning. The officer in question has been suspended and the situation is under investigation."
He's a good man. He could have
We're
loved
gonna watch this whole video.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just happy that video got seen by people like you and other people in the world.
And a lot of people seeing that video tonight. Now the police department says they're internal.
I don't give a shit what the police say. They're lying.
Straight up. Don't. No. All right.
Yeah. What's your reason?
I knew he was gonna look like that. I knew exactly the body type it was gonna be.
Hit the alley, yo. Go ahead, Trey. Walk off, yo. He beating. He ain't even got no reason to stop me. Hey, yo, what the f? You gonna hit him with the car?
Yeah, John, we're on the same wavelength here.
No, yo. Hey, yo.
Jinx.
Come back this way, yo. Yo, beating, bro. That's his dumb ass. Dumb.
Crazy motherfucker. Wow.
You dumb as you crashing it all that.
You dumb as shit.
You really crashing out, bro. Go ahead, dumb. Really crashing out, bro. You crashed his car and all that, bro. Don't really try to hit my mind, bro. The f. Don't really try to hit, bro, with the car and all that. Oh, hell no. Hey, yo, what the f? You gonna hit him with the car? Yo, what the f, bro? Yo, hell no, yo. Hey, yo.
He's just trying to give him a little scare. It's spooky season. It's a Halloween prank. My God.
Yo, beating, bro. That's his dumb ass. Dumb ass. Dummy.
We don't really see the crash. We hear it there. We see the aftermath.
You crashing it all.
Dumb as shit. Yes, he is.
Crashing out, bro. Go ahead, dummy. Really crashing out, bro. You crashed his car and all that, bro. Nobody.
ACAB means these cops down in Mississippi. 2 sheriffs and 12 officers arrested in a drug trafficking takedown. 14 current and former law enforcement officers were among those arrested on drug-related charges by the FBI. This happened on Thursday. Federal officials announced the arrest, which spanned multiple counties and multiple jurisdictions. This is
happening now. The FBI, along with the U.S.
a
Attorney
piece of the
General,
press conference.
big announcement about a Mississippi Delta drug conspiracy takedown. We will take you back to Oxford once this press conference gets started. Now, roughly 10,000 people attended Turning Point USA's event at Ole Miss last night.
Nobody wants to hear about that.
From this level, making a major announcement about the
passage for illegal narcotics and drug proceeds to the Mississippi Delta region, and ultimately on the last of those runs into Memphis itself. And they did this in return for bribe payments for money. They are also indicted for related firearms offenses and
How long until Trump pardons them?
related to specific runs throughout the Mississippi Delta. Indicted in this conspiracy are the following individuals, and when I'm giving you this list of places of employment, a lot of them are still employed or were up to today in those places, but the places I'm referring to where they're employed, that's really during the times that are relevant to the charges in their indictment. So indicted in this particular conspiracy were Brandon Addison, who's a Mississippi law enforcement officer employed by the Hollandale Police Department and the Humphreys County Sheriff's Office.
The Hollandaise Police Department.
Javari Howard, a Mississippi law enforcement officer employed by the Metcalf Police Department and later, during the course of the investigation, the Hollandale Police Department. Milton Gaston, the elected sheriff of Washington County, Mississippi.
I really want to try to make a hollandaise sauce.
Ron Grayson, who was employed by the Humphreys County Sheriff's Office.
The Humphreys dance is your chance to do the hump.
Sheriff of Humphreys County, Mississippi. Sean Williams, who was employed by the Yazoo City Police Department.
Yazoo.
Dexter Franklin, who was employed by the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Wendell Johnson, who was employed by the Bolivar County Sheriff's Office. Now, I want to take note on this.
Wendell Johnson is one named my dick.
When you see the indictments themselves, you're going to have 22 names.
Libertad, welcome in.
Telling you 20 people are now charged. And so this next individual who appears in the indictment, I want to make this very clear, based on information obtained today,
Where is mud?
Amber Holmes have been dismissed. She's no longer charged in this case and is no longer implicated in any wrongdoing related to this investigation.
Nork.
The remaining co-defendants on that first indictment, the large one, are Marcus Nolan.
She rolled over, that's what happened. Let's go to, I think this is Colorado. A woman says police used flock cameras to wrongfully accuse her of package theft.
A Denver woman says that she was wrongfully accused of theft after police tracked her car using flock cameras.
Now, the camera system has been a point of controversy over privacy concerns, but it's been a praised tool by police who've used it successfully to track down suspects and make arrests.
But after the system was used to accuse her of a crime, one woman is warning everyone to have cameras of their own. Fox 31's Anna Kuhn sat down with her and has her story tonight. Anna?
Hey guys, well, the Columbine Valley police chief has since voided the court summons against this woman, but she says she never should have been accused in the first place. She says her car was never at the address where that package was stolen.
You know we have cameras in that town and you can't get a breath of fresh air in or out of that place without us knowing, correct?
On September 27th, the Columbine Valley police officer came to Chrisanna Elser's door and issued her a summons to appear in court, accusing her of stealing a $25 package in the town of Bomar. The officer said he had doorbell video of the theft and had tracked her car in the area using flock cameras.
It is locked in. There is zero doubt. I wouldn't have come here unless I was 100% sure. 100%.
Wow, 100% sure.
She wasn't there, and she had the evidence to prove it. Dash camera video from her car, a log of her location from Google Maps, and doorbell video of her walking into her tailor's house when the package was stolen.
He just kept telling me that any evidence I had wasn't worth it.
Because you have not been honest with me, so I'm not going to extend you any courtesy of showing you a video when I don't need to.
But I can show you videos.
No, you cannot.
After a few weeks, Elser was able to get in touch with the police chief, who wrote her in an email, quote, "After reviewing evidence you have provided, nicely done by the way, we have voided the summons that was issued." But Elser says she shouldn't have needed to prove her innocence, and worries flock cameras can paint a picture police will rely too heavily on.
They need to be used properly and be used with caution in a conversation versus we're now going to use this to accuse
What the fuck is a flock camera? Is it just like a ring camera?
We did reach out to the police chief for comment, but didn't hear back. Meantime, Elser is advising all of her neighbors to start collecting their own digital evidence. She says you never know when you might need it. Live in Littleton, Anna Kuhn, Fox 31.
Interesting, Anna. Thank you.
Oh. Like a public surveillance thing. Wow. Dystopian. We did a dystopian story the other day where a man got arrested for a meme on Facebook mocking Charlie Kirk. Luckily, he has now been freed. I credit Phil Williams from Channel 5 in Nashville. He was on the case, and Boom, man was released from jail.
That breaking news, a Tennessee man jailed for more than a month for posting a President Trump meme is now free.
Yeah, of course, this comes one day after an exclusive News Channel 5 investigation raised questions about this case. Thanks for being with us. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. We shared that story last night right here at 6. And now prosecutors dropped those charges against Larry Busshart today as our chief investigative reporter Phil Williams was continuing to dig up new information.
Fucking everybody.
Went down suddenly today in Perry County, southeast of Nashville. Local radio station WOPC was there when Busshart walked out of jail after
down with OPC
days behind bars.
How do you feel right now?
Thanks to all and any supporters out there, and very happy to be going home. I didn't seek to be a media sensation, but here we are. But yeah, that's about all I can say right now.
Now, Phil, you spoke to Mr. Busshart's wife shortly after those charges were dropped. What did she have to say?
Yeah, that's right. She was on her way from her home in Lexington to pick up her husband at the Perry County Jail, and needless to say, she was ecstatic. She says she believes it was our interview with Perry County Sheriff Nick Weems that changed everything.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the meme that he posted, correct?
That looks like it, except this part was blurred out. The face.
This is the meme at the center of the controversy. A quote from Donald Trump, "We have to get over it," which the image notes was what the president said about the Perry High School mass shooting one day after, a reference to a tragedy in Perry, Iowa. But Larry Busshart was arrested last month and locked up on a $2 million bond.
Locked up for quoting the president.
Somehow claimed it was a threat to shoot up Perry County High School.
That led people to believe in our county that he's talking about Perry County High School, because it doesn't say Iowa either.
That's stupid.
But you also knew this was an existing meme that was already out there on the internet.
Correct.
And so it's clear he's not talking about Perry County High School.
We knew. The public did not know.
Sheriff Weems had also told us that Perry County asked local police in Busshart's hometown of Lexington to go talk to him, let him know the fear his post was causing, and ask him to take it down.
The fear his post was causing.
You know, parents just want to send their kids to school without being afraid that they'll get shot. I mean, what kind of person does that?
Absurd.
Just says he don't care.
Is there a Mr. Larry that lives here?
It is.
I had spoken with a Perry County investigator. They wanted me to come speak with him about something.
Okay.
But News Channel 5 Investigates had just obtained this video from that encounter a few hours before Busshart's arrest, and the Lexington police officer seemed to have no idea why a Perry County investigator had asked police to pay a visit to the progressive Facebook warrior.
He had just called me and said that there was some concerning posts that were made on
Facebook.
On Facebook, yes, sir.
And they sent you guys.
They did. They wanted me to come
I'm glad he laughed at him.
and let you know that they may be in contact with you and see if you still live here. I don't know exactly what they're referring to.
I knew Charlie Kirk.
Well, I don't know.
Busshart had posted
Charlie Kirk
to suggest people were more concerned about Charlie Kirk's murder than they were about school shootings. But the video shows the officer never mentioned any concerns about a school.
They said that something was insinuating violence.
No, it wasn't.
And like I said,
I'm not going to take it down. Go look.
I don't care.
I know how you do.
This ain't got nothing to do with me.
You got that rolling. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Busshart's wife told me she planned to take her husband out for a nice dinner tonight since he's been eating jail food for the last 37 days. Unfortunately,
get that man a steak.
He has lost his job as a medical driver. This is probably not the last we're going to hear of this story.
Any reaction from Sheriff Weems on all of this today?
You know, nothing official yet, but listen, you have to hand it to him because I asked him to sit down and answer my questions. He certainly didn't have to, you know, but we ended up in a situation with a result that a lot of people are now applauding.
I don't have to hand it to him at all.
Pretty impressive that he's doing the interview.
He's clearly a piece of shit.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Phil. Now, if you want to watch the story that led to this dramatic development, you can find it right now at newschannel5.com/.
Still want to keep those connections going, though. A teacher has I don't even know why they called her a teacher, what that has to do with the story. Woman was out having dinner at a Mexican restaurant. She was served a margarita and it had industrial cleaner in it.
The Elgin community gathered to pay their respects for a teacher who recently died.
Holly Hill died last Thursday and her funeral was held today. A beloved teacher from Elgin Public Schools, Hill's death has sparked widespread mourning from the community online.
The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is looking into her passing, investigating it as a suspicious death. And as many pay their respects, 7 News reporter Rico
seems pretty weird
in the newsroom.
Ryu spoke with Hill's mother. What did she have to say?
Tara, Dave, Holly's mother, Kelly Hunter, told me her daughter's story, as well as the battles she faced for 2.5 years. The Elgin community is mourning the death of an elementary school teacher. Holly Hill, a beloved teacher at Elgin Public Schools and an alumnus of the school, died last week. Family and friends have taken to social media to mourn her death. I spoke with Holly's mother, Kelly Hunter, and she shares Holly's story and about what happened the day her life changed forever, 2.5 years ago. Allegations that were highlighted in a civil suit.
She was served a drink that instead of having margarita mix in it was made with industrial degreaser that contained lye, and that lye damaged her esophagus to the point that my daughter's been fighting for her life for 2.5 years.
Holly's mother said they spent a week in the hospital, but it took more than 12 weeks to keep her esophagus open.
I really worried when my baby girl woke up and I had to tell her she couldn't eat or drink anything for 30 days. She'd be upset, but instead she smiled at me and said, I can do that.
Not only was Holly a teacher, but she drove school buses too. After time in the hospital, Holly decided to live her routine life.
As usual, she got up and went back to work because her kids needed her.
Hunter told me while Holly was at work, she began to feel unwell and spiked a fever. She decided to finish her day at home in bed and go to the hospital in the morning until her mother received a call.
And about 1:18, she called me and she was gasping for breath and telling me that she couldn't breathe and she needed help.
Hunter said she rushed to help her daughter.
She told me, I'm dying, Mom, but I need you to know that I love y'all. And I said, you're not going to die, baby girl. You're too strong for that.
Holly's husband continued to speak to dispatch operators when she lost her pulse. That's when Kelly stepped in and started CPR.
I really don't know how long I did CPR. It seemed like forever.
First responders arrived on scene, and Holly's mom thought everything was okay.
It really felt like I did it, you know? I thought they were there. She had a pulse. We were going to be okay.
Then Holly lost her pulse again when first responders tried to move her.
I had to sit there and watch my baby die right in front of me. I'm heartbroken in that.
Fucking wow.
Holly's mom also shared why it took so long for them to speak out about Holly's story. According to Kelly, it's because they couldn't.
I know a lot of people are asking why. Why wasn't something said before? The whole time this was under litigation, we were told to shut our mouths and that we were not allowed to put anything on social media. That's why. And I really would like people to know that. It's not that we didn't care until she was dead. It was that we were literally told to shut our mouths.
Kelly says she wants someone to be held accountable.
But what I would like is criminal charges filed and someone held accountable for my daughter's death.
Kelly is now remembering what kind of...
Yeah, has there been no investigation?
She was loud and happy, and she had beautiful dimples and always had a smile on her face and had beautiful blue eyes. And she was energetic and caring. She loved babies and kids, and she was honestly my best friend.
You can count on your 7 News team to keep you updated as the investigation unfolds.
Yeah, well, but the investigation.
Grady County, a Blanchard man.
Or had authorities not been informed? I have questions. We're going to go to Florida. Flagler County, Florida. A boyfriend's dying words led to a vehicular homicide charge for his girlfriend.
But we begin with this story, all new at 6 tonight. A man's dying words leads to the arrest of his own girlfriend. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm John Brown. This is a wild one. Troopers say the couple was in a car, got into a fight, and she crashed on purpose. The boyfriend later died from his injuries. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay picks up the story from there. So, Chris, it took them several months to crack this case, though.
Yes, this happened back in February, and the victim's girlfriend was charged with vehicular homicide on Monday. Troopers say 22-year-old Daniel Waterman, seen here, was with his girlfriend Leah Mumby during Super Bowl weekend when she swerved off the road and crashed.
Waterman was fighting for his life every day. Somehow, he gathered enough strength to tell investigators what happened the day of the crash. According to an arrest report, Waterman told troopers he and Mumby were in an argument when she got angry and floored it right into a tree.
Miss Mumby didn't utilize her brakes at the time, or at least it showed that the car was speeding up at the time.
Court documents show the last thing Daniel remembered was her saying, quote, "I don't care what happens. You'll get what you deserve." Just before impact, she was clocked at over 90 miles an hour. In July, Mumby was arrested.
The case started out as a charge of reckless driving, serious bodily injury, and aggravated battery. Deadly weapon, which would be the vehicle.
Daniel fought hard, and his family was by his side in the ICU every day. The Waterman family's attorney says on October 8th, he died, which changed everything with the case.
The state in Flagler County has decided to charge a vehicular homicide because he's now since deceased.
For months, his family had been pushing for a stiffer penalty. His unfortunate passing means Mumby is now facing much more time behind bars.
They believe that the charges that are filed against Miss Mumby are the correct charges, and they're satisfied.
She was booked and released after posting a $150,000 bond.
And there's another wrinkle, according to Hager. Mumby was pregnant at the time of the crash, and apparently she gave birth to Waterman's child yesterday. So this family is fighting for justice, but they're also fighting for custody. Reporting live, Chris Lindsay, Fox 35 News.
Hit us with a swerve right there at the end. Shit. I don't know if I trust the cops. Is that really what the kid said before he died? I don't know. I don't trust anyone. Robert De Niro's grandkid apparently overdosed at some point in time. Authorities have now arrested 5 people linked to that overdose death.
Authorities announced more arrests in connection with the overdose deaths of 3 19-year-olds, including Robert De Niro's grandson, Leandro. Speaking at a news conference moments ago, New York authorities detailed the defendants are allegedly part of a drug ring that uses...
How old was this little twink?
...to sell drugs.
One particularly dangerous feature of the drug network that killed the 19-year-olds is that it used an online distribution network. The network leveraged the power of social media and encrypted messaging platforms to advertise and distribute drugs to customers living in this city. The platforms used by the defendants included, among others, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and Telegram. By using social media and encrypted messaging platforms, the defendants were able to specifically target and influence teenagers and young adults.
Joining us live is Anna Schechter, senior coordinating producer with CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit. So, Anna, how is law enforcement tying these suspects to Leandro's death?
Well, these 5 suspects charged in this indictment are charged with distributing fentanyl. Now, they sold it to somebody else that then turned around and gave it or sold it to Leandro. So that's how this worked. So this is the result of many months of investigation. Right after he was found dead in his friend's apartment, he was just 19 years old. This was back in 2023. Investigators jumped on this case. They found the so-called Percocet queen that sold him some of these pills. The medical examiner said he had a cocktail of drugs in his system, including fentanyl, ketamine, and cocaine. And
he liked to party.
The investigation widened, and they actually have located these people who were doing the dealing around, all around New York. The indictment lays out hotel rooms, other locations where they were doing deals, and they link these individuals to other deaths as well, other teenagers who died. Now, this indictment
I did too.
Time that another indictment. You're looking there at Washington Square.
When I was that age, I was doing crazy shit.
People charged in connection to a fentanyl ring operating out of Washington Square Park. And the feds today, the prosecutors and the DEA talked about just the ravage that fentanyl has done, that these illicit drugs, the deadly drugs, that they've really wreaked havoc, not just New York City, but around the country. And so they laid out their case, and this is the result.
God damn, she's making me want to do some fentanyl.
Investigation.
Yeah, I mean, this is a
You're making it sound like it's just a crazy fucking drug.
Down and talk to us about
so good it'll kill you instantly.
And what they're investigating.
Sure. Well, they wanted to find out and pinpoint the supplier. It wasn't enough just to arrest the individual who was in direct contact.
Oh, I've done it before.
With Robert De Niro's grandson and the other teenagers. And what they did is,
I had no idea what it was.
That individual, they cracked open this massive web, an operation that was
true story, my lord. You can do it with water.
As we just heard authorities say there in that clip, they used social media, they used Telegram, TikTok, Instagram, essentially the platforms that a lot of young people are on, in order to connect with potential buyers, do deals between themselves, and sell these drugs. And of course, they don't tell the victims that there's fentanyl in these drugs, and so an unwitting person thinks they might be taking something else, and just a speck of fentanyl can be deadly. Unfortunately, we learned 2 years ago in July that Robert De Niro's grandson was found sitting up in a chair, unresponsive. There was white powder near him, and certainly he did not expect to be taking fentanyl. It was deemed an accidental overdose, and we can point to fentanyl. The medical examiner pointed to a cocktail of drugs, but fentanyl is really that one that is so deadly with so little, and has really plagued the country and has been a focus of the DEA for years now. They have been trying to tackle this and get a handle on it, and so these arrests of these individuals who have actually been arrested previously, they made note of that. That's a whole other issue, that sometimes these drug dealers, they get arrested, get out, and then re-offend, as we saw in this case.
Yeah, repeat offenders. It is so scary. Anna Schechter, thank you so much.
So the time I did it, it was back in like 2005, 2006, something like that. I was maybe 20, 21, 22. My dad woke me up one morning, which meant he was holding. I knew if he woke me up early, because he knew I didn't get up early, he wanted me to go with him one morning, I knew that meant he had some good drugs. So we set out, I get my coffee and everything, and he's got one of those time release patches, like an 800 milligram fentanyl patch. And I'd never heard of this shit. So he cuts the corner off of the patch and just one big clump on my finger. And this is 8 o'clock in the fucking morning too. And I did that big clump, and I've never been higher in my fucking life. Well, I didn't do 800 milligrams of it. I did 40, 50 milligrams. I don't think so, because the patch was made for like a month. Yeah, the rest of the day I felt like shit because I was so high at the time. Because it hit so hard. That's why, like, the fucking day, the rest of the day sucked. About 100 milligrams? Whatever the fuck it was. But, like, the patch was made for a whole month. You weren't supposed to take it the way my dad did it. Which I don't know. Are you sure about that, Krill? Like, they exaggerate about fentanyl. But also, I don't know what I'm talking about, so you probably shouldn't trust me. A Texas man says that a woman kidnapped him and forced him into sex work, which sounds like my fantasy.
New tonight, a man says two women kidnapped him at gunpoint and forced him into sex work.
Court records backing up the victim's story, and he's sharing it only on 13. ABC 13's Luke Jones is live at the Harris County Jail detailing those.
I honestly should not make jokes about this shit.
Yeah, and what a terror it was. So far, the only charges are aggravated kidnapping, but this man says in reality, he was really the victim of sex trafficking. Masterminded, he says, by a woman who called herself Cookie, operating out of a North Harris County motel.
I'd be Cookie's bitch.
It was really ghetto. It was scary.
A young man who still shudders when he thinks about all he endured. For almost a week, he says he was held captive in a room at the Regency Inn on Cypress Station near FM 1960. Forced, he says, to have sex for money. We're blurring his face to protect his privacy.
It was a lot of crackheads, like a lot of them, like a lot of sketchy homeless people.
A life, he says, he never imagined for himself. When the Harris County Sheriff's Office says he was sucked into October 18th. That's when they say one of the victim's friends, Esmeralda Pena, invited him to the Regency.
She said that she had a job for me, like she was gonna help me make some money because I didn't have a job.
Once here, he says he was introduced to this woman, Herbanique Forrest, although when they met, he says she went by a different name.
She ain't looking good.
Cookie, he says, quickly set about signing him up for an escort site and told him he'd have to have sex with men for money. The next day, he says he saw an opportunity to escape and returned home. But just 4 hours later, deputies say a doorbell camera shows Pena and Forrest at the victim's front door, this time with an armed man. Investigators say they
brought their pimp.
Forced him into a car at gunpoint.
Cookie started beating me, and she was like, "Don't I ever leave again? Like if I ever leave, like she'll blow
She gave you the pimp hand. Oh my God.
my brains out."
For the next 6 days, he says he was beaten, plied with drugs, and deprived of food. At night, he says he was expected to solicit men in this Ross parking lot, although he says
in the Ross
with one.
I knew that if I made them money, they would keep making me work for them. They would keep me around. So I just tried not to sleep with anybody.
Even so, he says the experience left him drained, and at one point, hoping Forrest would make good on
Do a lot of guys go to Ross?
And I kind of wanted her to kill me. Like, I told her to kill me, like, just get it over with.
In the end, he says it was his aunt who saved him. October 24th, he says he was able to text her using a phone he'd hidden from his captors, and that she picked him up during one of those nights out in the Ross parking lot.
I was just like, yeah, this is not a good place to be at.
And the victim says he wasn't the only one forced to do this.
Yes, the dress for less.
Pena, also beaten and made to walk the streets, he says. Right now, this case still under active investigation. Live downtown, Luke Jones, ABC 13, Eyewitness.
Luke Jones. Thieves stole a Barack Obama highway sign.
Sign installed on the eastbound 134 freeway near Eagle Rock honoring former President Barack Obama has been stolen, and it's going to cost thousands of dollars to install a new one. That's according to a report by the East Sider LA. A Department of Transportation official tells the publication that the sign has
Do we really need it?
at a cost of $4,000. The stretch between the 2 and the 210 freeways was renamed for the 44th president in 2017, and signs went up the following year. The sign on the westbound 134 is
How does it cost $4,000? It's a piece of metal with writing on it. $4,000 fucking dollars. I think I'm gonna start the body camera, and then we can watch the story. You can get the full context. We're gonna watch this body camera here.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Why?
Oh, was she just drunk and needed to pee?
This is disgusting.
I'm waiting for an Uber.
Okay, this is unacceptable. Where's your ID?
It's my husband's wallet. Walk that way.
Hey, girl.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
She was behind a plant.
Why? What are we doing?
I'm waiting for an Uber.
This is disgusting.
I'm waiting for an Uber.
Okay,
It's
this is unacceptable.
not. I mean, no, don't kink shame. I'm into it.
My husband's wallet. Walk that way.
Why is he putting on gloves? She's pulling up her panties.
Spell your last name.
Wilson.
You gotta spell it.
The last one.
She is squashed.
O-N.
O-N? Spell your first name.
Christine.
You spell it.
K-R-S-T-Y-N.
K-R.
I.
Okay.
S-T-Y. N.
What's your date of birth?
19.
I don't see anything wrong with this.
Are you from Arizona?
I was originally born in Nevada.
What's your middle name?
Marie.
Five 15 can you run a 101 Nevada and Arizona?
She just had to piss. Who hasn't been there? I need to piss.
Versus King Robert.
And Dan Crenshaw's eye pussy.
Edward. Are you her husband?
Yep.
Okay. Can you hang out over by the cab for me?
Nope. What?
Yeah, you can, because I'm conducting an investigation.
For what?
Because I just saw her puking and urinating, exposing herself to several
Nope,
people.
that wasn't her.
Okay, you can go by the cab, or you can continue to interfere with the investigation.
Come on, baby.
Okay.
No.
Last chance. Go over to the cab.
No.
Okay. Well, then you're detained.
Wow.
Stop.
You can't do this.
I'm gonna fucking throw you on the ground if you resist.
Well,
I gave you several chances.
this escalated quickly.
We have a cab. There, baby.
515-1 resisting.
Stop.
I'm not doing anything.
Get your ass on the fucking ground, dude.
I'm not doing anything.
515, we're fighting.
I'm not fighting.
Grab the cuffs.
Here, I got it.
I
I'm just into the woman that was taking a whiz. She's apparently a judge. A judge in Arizona.
Can you put me up so I can breathe?
Nope, you can get in handcuffs first, then you can roll over.
That's fine. Put me in handcuffs. Just let me breathe.
Flight 15 Road Code 4, 11015.
Can you put me up so I can breathe?
You're gonna give us a minute.
Roll him on his left.
Stay right there.
Why don't you just listen, bro?
I'm listening.
You weren't? And then you want to resist. So you can go to jail.
Byronic, welcome in. Do you know what's going on?
Let's, can you guys just identify him? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why? What are we doing?
She was pissing in a bush.
This is disgusting.
I'm waiting for an Uber.
Okay, this is unacceptable. Where's your ID?
It's my husband's wallet. Walk that way.
I was going to be detained for now.
So back to where we were there.
So, not involved? He is. That's her husband. So, she has her pants completely down. I'm watching her right there. She's puking. She's peeing everywhere. A bunch of people see. I see. Flip around.
Pork bench.
This dude rolls up in a cab. I'm like, who are you? He's like, I'm her husband. I was like, can you go back to the cab for me, please? And he's like, no. He's like, what's going on? I explained. I just saw her urinating and throwing up everywhere. She was exposed herself to several people, including me.
Don't care.
He's like, that's not her. And then grabs her to go walk back to the cab. So I tell him, I said, last chance, go back to the cab because you're interfering. Okay. And he's like, no.
Okay, I do really have to pee.
Okay. So I just approached him and I was like, last chance, dude. And he's like, no, fuck you. So then we go to detain him and then he starts resisting. And I just threw him on the ground.
Alright. But no, like, strikes, fights?
No.
You gotta ask this guy anything, or do you want to just get him in your car?
No, resisting and interfering.
Okay. I'm not playing games.
Your husband has your identification card? Do you have that with you?
Yes, I do.
Where do we already grab his wallet?
Pocket.
Okay.
May I stop looking for the ID?
We'll grab it from you.
So, completely unnecessary.
Totally. At minimum of 4 times. Ask twice. Tell him. He's like, no, fuck you. I was like, you're interfering. And he's like, no, I'm not. And then grabs her to go walk back to the cab.
Well,
the cab took off.
Good news is everything's on body camera, so.
Minimum, you're getting a ticket.
Well, you know, my name is Judge Christina Olson.
Okay. Do you understand this was like totally unnecessary? That she was just going to get a ticket? And when an officer is giving you an order, that you should comply, not interfere with an investigation?
I do completely
and then when an
understand,
officer
but
goes
she
to
did
grab
not-
and detain you?
I'm the one that vomited.
Okay, regardless, I saw her with her entire underexposed peeing in that bush, as well
You
as
did
several
not.
other people. Okay. You find hers?
You want to keep our rest.
Figure out how she's. Huh? Let's figure out how she needs to get to where she's going to. Assuming the cab.
Are they visiting?
I have no idea. She's useless. She can't even spell her name.
Would you tell you her name was?
Yeah, she's right. Just 2 part less. Okay, so she's gonna go state. Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Copy. Prescott? Oh, Chino. Cool. How are you able to get home from here?
He has my ID.
Well, we have that. So, do you have a phone?
He had my wallet.
You don't have a phone?
No, he had my credit card.
So the phone next to you is not your phone?
But yes.
Okay, so you do have a phone. So can you call someone to come pick you up from here? Taxi, Uber, Lyft, friend, family? Can we work on that right now? Okay, go ahead and make that call. I'm going to fill your ticket out.
Have I missed anything fun?
What do you want to stuff it? Just put it in the trunk.
She has stepped down from her job as a judge.
On Fox 10 Investigates, a Superior Court judge abruptly resigns after an incident with police, but Yavapai County did not release details initially on what led up to the resignation.
That's where we come in. And now Prescott police body cam footage shows the judge allegedly urinating in the street. Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum has the video, the report, the court filings, after confirming the identity of the public official.
Who among us has not urinated in the street?
What are we doing?
Uber.
This is disgusting.
It's just after 1:30 in the morning on October 4th, and the woman who just pulled up her pants, sitting on the bench, is now face to face with Prescott police. She is Judge Pro Tempore Christine Schaff Olsen. The location is known to many as Whiskey Row at Montezuma and Gurley Street on the same block as the
she just had a few.
Where Schaff Olsen works. A source who wishes to remain anonymous obtained this body cam footage, providing it to Fox 10. As the officers try to identify her, Schaff Olsen's husband gets involved.
Are you her husband?
Yep.
Okay. Can you hang out over by the cab for me?
Nope. Come on.
Yeah, you can, because I'm conducting an investigation.
For what?
Because I just saw her puking and urinating, exposing herself to several people.
That wasn't her.
That's Jason Olsen, the judge's husband, and also the Parks and Recreation manager for the town of Chino Valley. Police say Olsen did not listen to instructions to back away, and as he's being detained, officers say he resisted arrest by tensing up his right arm before being taken to the ground.
Get your ass on the ground, dude.
I'm not doing anything.
5:15, we're fighting.
I'm not fighting.
Grab the cuffs.
The police report says Schaff Olsen showed signs of intoxication and slurred her speech. Schaff Olsen was appointed as a judge for Yavapai.
She was clearly drunk.
In 2023, she was a partner for her own law firm for 2 years and has been practicing law for a decade, according to her LinkedIn resume. If you listen closely, she emphasizes her official title.
Minimum, you're getting a ticket.
That's fine. My name is Judge Christine Olsen.
The report also says several witnesses walked by minutes earlier and waved the officer down after they saw the judge urinating.
Are they visiting?
I have no idea. She's useless. She can't even spell her name.
We reached out to the
She's useless.
Superior Court for comment. The court administrator's initial news release just days after the incident said Schaff Olsen resigned to attend to personal matters. The latest statement from Yavapai County Superior Court says in part, the Superior Court is aware of the allegations against Judge Christine Schaff Olsen. This information was brought to the court's attention on October 4. Judge Schaff Olsen accepted full responsibility and formally submitted her resignation on Monday, October 6. To ensure coverage of her calendar, Judge Schaff Olsen agreed her last day on the bench would be October 31.
All right, this is your citation. It's a misdemeanor for urinating or defecating in public, okay? So you're going to have to sign it, promising to appear in court in about a month, all right? Your husband's going to be transported to the Yavapai County Jail. He'll be booked in there.
Jason Olsen was cited for resisting arrest, interfering with a crime scene investigation, and obstruction of government operations. His employer, the town of Chino Valley, has not responded to our request for comment. Body cam footage shows Judge Schaff Olson struggling to sign the citation.
Nope, right here on the screen. On the screen.
Oh, on the screen.
Her attorney
But she was drunk.
that she had some sort of medical issue that night, which has no bearing on her performance as a judge, and he's confident that when more information comes to light in the appropriate forum, the matter will be resolved favorably. I'm Justin Lum for Fox 10 Investigates.
It's insane. That is way too harsh. All that for nothing. This next story comes to us from a courtroom. It involves a cop whose attire to his court appearance shocked the judge.
This Honorable Court, Tatanisha Reed on behalf of Nikisha Lee, who is present via Zoom.
Ms. Lee, good morning to you. State your name for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Nikisha Lee.
Day, date, and time set for a trial is Officer Jackson here. He was.
I think he might be in the breakout room.
I'll pull him out. All right. Ms. Lee, my understanding, you want to bail yourself to the offer?
Yes.
All right, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
It might be bulletproof glass.
Put your hand down. Officer Jackson, good morning to you. Can you put your appearance on the record, please?
Yes, Officer Jackson, badge number 3919, out of the 12th precinct.
All right.
Officer Jackson. He got to ask his camera, Judge.
You got some pants on, officer?
Sir, they're in the... No, sir.
And why are you so late?
Because I have a paper right here that shows my court started at 1 o'clock, but then when I called,
Okay, this one was making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Looks like I saw 9.
Same judge with the pantsless cop.
Good morning to you. Can you put your appearance on the record, please?
Yes, Officer.
Yeah, New York Post jumped stories there.
Out of the 12th precinct.
All right.
Officer Jackson. He got to ask his camera, Judge.
You got some pants on, officer?
Sir, they're in the... No, sir.
And why are you so late?
Then this one was making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
right here that shows my court started at 1 o'clock, but then when I called, right here.
It looks like I saw 9 a.m.
I had 1 o'clock on one of those papers.
You just showed me a paper, Miss Outerbridge. That
yes,
said
I did. Right. So when I called,
no, we can't talk at the same time.
Well, I apologize for being late. Excuse me.
Stop.
Miss Outerbridge, you asked me a question. I'm just trying to answer it.
I know. Put whatever you're trying to prepare down.
I'm trying to feed my daughter.
Get your coat. You gotta put your properly dressed on. I am
properly dressed. I have on a t-shirt. I am properly
dressed. Is that a robe?
It's the problem, sir. I'm not even doing that. You asked me a question. I'm answering. My daughter is sick. I had to keep her home from school. I'm just trying to feed her. That is it.
That's not terrible, but you're in court.
Miss Outerbridge, I'm sorry that your daughter is sick. But again, you're in court, okay? And we're going to treat it as such. I asked you.
I'm properly dressed.
No, don't talk.
I have on clothes. I have on clothes. I have on clothes.
Fine, Miss Outerbridge.
She is wearing clothes.
I have on clothes. What?
Amazing. Twitch people, stick with me. We're going to watch classic Halloween specials. We're going to continue our marathon of classic Halloween specials.
Longtime cat burglar. But fortunately for the thief, they won't be doing any clinically.
So I'm sorry I didn't mention this earlier. there was no new South Park on Wednesday. They pushed it back. South Park is actually premiering tomorrow night on Halloween. So Satan's butt baby is going to be born on Halloween. It's tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Now, I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. I'm probably watching horror movies with Curiouser. I will get on sometime during the day and watch Halloween specials with you guys at some point in time. Saturday, I'm going to be on Stonercast with Jason Society and James from the Internet and Freems. And I might be leaving somebody off. I hope I'm not. So I needed to do the plugs. So sometime tomorrow I'll come on, probably afternoon. Watch some Halloween specials. We're gonna watch Halloween specials on Twitch and Kick after this.
A hard time. Anayeli Ruiz introduces us to this mischievous cat who's becoming an internet sensation.
And yard gloves.
Basket after basket.
He did bring a few t-shirts.
Oh, I also feel like I committed to doing something with producer Dave tomorrow night.
Up on the kitchen floor of Gene Wheat's home.
He often brings clean, folded laundry.
For weeks now,
But I don't remember.
up dragged from all over.
I want to apologize because some of the items he's brought home, in particular a pair of really nice women's
What do you mean by candy suggestion? What are the parameters?
Is Katie Caper.
I can give you candy suggestions.
Cleo the cat burglar. It started innocently enough inside Gene's home, but
Reese Cup's always my favorite. The bags that have the special dark chocolate Hershey's.
Stealing
Cleo.
Mr. Goodbar.
A couple of neighbors have told me that
Cocaine always great.
through their window.
No garage or open
Kit Kats.
window is safe. And yes, he's been caught in the act.
Cleo, what do you have there? No, you can't have those.
He's gained quite the reputation, and his list of victims keeps growing.
He has done nothing wrong.
She would tell us he would bring stuff home.
And because he's a cat,
Woman out here looking like Linda Tripp.
just not the kind you're thinking of.
He took a computer mouse, still in the bag.
Cleo's owner, embarrassed, started washing the stolen goods and putting them outside with a sign for her neighbors.
I apologize on his behalf. Please look through his loot and recover your stuff.
Cleo's caper, now a social media sensation.
The most viral subject on our neighborhood Facebook page.
Cleo the cat has become so popular in this neighborhood, they even made
Oh, Athena, welcome in. Yes, he took electronics.
go to a local shelter.
Everybody.
Cleo the klepto kitty.
It's great, funny.
And for a motive, well, vets say Cleo might have a condition. And no, it's not kleptomania.
I have seen it before in cats who develop like we call it a substrate affinity. It means that they have an affinity for certain types of material.
Jean says she's tried to get Cleo to quit his life of crime.
I chastised him a little bit, kind of thinking maybe we could break the habit. But then I realized it was a losing battle. You know, he's basically...
With a face.
And when we confronted Cleo, no remorse and no comment.
What a sweet baby. Where are you going? No, don't autoplay. Go back to the kitty. You encouraged him, indeed.
Stealing.
Cleo started visiting the neighbors.
A couple of neighbors have told me that he's climbed into their house through their window.
No garage or open car window is safe. And yes, he's been caught in the act.
Cleo, what do you have there?
I think that's the right one, Holiday. If it's not, tell me.
He's gained quite the reputation.
So YouTube people, podcast people, we're going to see you on Sunday night. Light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack.
And because
I'm JustinFREAKIN. See you Sunday night on the Troll Patrol.
the kind you're
Live.
thinking of.
He took a computer mouse, still in the bag.
Cleo's owner, embarrassed, started washing the stolen goods and putting them
All
outside
right, kick people.
with a sign for her neighbors.
I'm going to turn you off and turn you back on.
Please look through his loot and recover your stuff.
Cleo's caper, now a social media sensation.
The most viral subject on our neighborhood Facebook page.
Cleo the cat has become so popular in this neighborhood, they even made shirts for him. And part of the profits go to a local shelter.
Everybody is They just think it's great, funny.
And for a motive,